Take the crowd out of it. The crowd's involved. A good conservative first 5 minutes for the Islanders.
Muller and Turgeon faced it off, and we're underway. Muller, along with Mike Keane and John LeClair, against Turgeon, Delgarno, and David Volek for the New York Islanders. And now Turgeon goes to the bench. Here's LeClair, backhand off of Healy. Muller shot it wide. Quick start here. There's Odeline at the point, drilling it off target. And it will slide all the way down into the Canadian zone. I think the Islanders expect the Canadians to come out as fast as they have.
And immediately Al Arbour trying to get Pierre Turgeon away from Muller.
Here's John LeClair trying to break in. Jeff Norton got back. Play whistle down on an offside.
And an injured Islander in the Canadian zone. There he is, way back at the other end of the rink from where the play was whistled down. Claude Loisel. And I don't know, fellas, anybody see that? I have no idea what happened.
It looks like a shoulder, and you can see Loisel right here. Ooh, he takes a high stick. But the way he is down on the ice, it looks like a shoulder injury. Watch Matthew Snyder. Falls on top of Loisel. And the high stick missed him. I thought the high stick hit him in the side of the head, but you can see Eddie Taberski's out talking to Claude. In obvious pain.
You notice Claude clean shaven. He and Rich Pilon discarded the beards before game 4 and try and change the luck of the team, but he's run into some bad luck in the first minute of game 5.
John, you mentioned a conservative start for the Islanders, but I think the Canadians needed just the other kind of a start. And as Chris pointed out, in that flurry through the first half minute of this game, they are trying to do just that. Well, the Islanders have one change tonight with the defenseman Vladimir Malakoff unable to play. He was injured in game 4. So Tom Kerbers, the ex-Canadian, is back in. And the Islanders, that's the only change for them. Jacques Demers has made some interesting changes. Sean Hill on defense is in. Kevin Haller is out. Gary Lehman and Stéphane Lebeau are back in uniform as forwards. Ed Ronan and Jesse Belanger are extra men tonight. Chris, we saw Demers do that a lot more in the 2 previous rounds against Quebec and against Buffalo than what he has done against the Islanders, as Loisel finally makes it under some difficulty, to be sure, to the New York bench.
And Ed Taberski was looking at his shoulder. Lauren Henning comes down to check on Claude Loisel, but he did go to the bench and not to the dressing room.
Canadians got such a good start out of LeClair, Keane, and Muller that they stay out on the ice. And an icing call against the Islanders.
Well, Jacques Demers had everybody out on the ice this morning. Canadians usually in days between games don't work out too much or have too many guys out. But Demers, again in a position that we talked about the other night. One win away from advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in his lengthy coaching career. He didn't make it in 1986 with St. Louis. He's hoping to make it in 1993 with Montreal.
Muller and Turgeon on the face-off. Krupp clears it to defense partner Jeff Norton. Canadians right on those defensemen of the Islanders. Muller against the boards, pushed away by Krupp. Norton collides with LeClair. Keane to Muller, backhand, they score!
Watch John LeClair come in here with the big hit. There's LeClair, and he takes both defensemen out. Norton and Krupp are both down off that big hit from LeClair. And watch Kirk Muller. There's the big hit. And Kirk Muller comes out. He's got clear sailing, takes the pass from Keane. And this backhand goes right through a screened Glenn Healy.
John Muller did something there he does so well. Take the puck off the skate to the stick. I've seen him do that so often this season, and he cashes in right there.
So Kirk Muller has his first goal of this series, his 8th of the playoffs, and the Canadians get the quick start they were looking for. 58 seconds in. Keane and LeClair get assists on the goal, and Jacques Demers' line of the best 3 physical forwards for the Canadians pays dividends in the opening minute. Breeze block clears it back in. Healy stops it behind the net. And the fans in it the forum as Kasparaitis clears it ahead. Hogue missed the pass. Now Flatley, the Islander captain, sends it cross ice to Pilon. Dom Foose, Bellows, and DiPietro for the Canadians. And again, it's sent down the ice. Flatley in, but didn't touch it, and they are going to call it icing. And now Flatley does some pushing with Brisebois.
The Islanders trying to get involved. It was that Muller-Turgeon matchup, the one that Jacques Demers wanted to get, that cashed in. And Al Arbour just didn't have time to change. They're on the road. Turgeon was out first. Jacques Demers countered with the Muller line, and they end up scoring.
Claude Loiselle has just left the Islanders bench and has gone to the team's dressing room.
Rob Ramage in behind the Canadiens bench again, and you see the record when they score first, but the record here at the Forum during the playoffs is another thing that is so impressive. They get the crowd in it early. Andre Ouellette gets them going, probably one of the best anthem singers in the league, Chris. They get pumped up, and with the early goal, they're going to stay in it.
DiPietro with Gary Lehman now and Dion. Sean Hill makes his first appearance in the Wales Conference Championship. He's out with J.J. Daigneault. Hill, in his only other playoff game, was involved in Game 4 against Buffalo, a series-clinching win. Here's DiPietro inside the line to Dion. Turgeon watching him. Pass out in front, and Derek King will start back for the New York Islanders. King checked by DiPietro. And at the line, it's called offside.
Interesting headline, one of the French language dailies after Game 4 Saturday night in New York. Guy Carbonneau said, "We didn't take them seriously enough." Never understand that. What do these teams think? But anyway, that's one of the reasons he gave for Montreal not winning when they could have swept the Islanders in 4.
Here's Pierre Turgeon, who didn't do much in Game 4, trying to come back on defense. Does a good job right here, stays with his man Gilbert Dion, and rides him into the board.
Turgeon, Thomas, and King for the Islanders. Carbonneau, Savard, and Brunet for the Canadians. Here's Dennis Vaske, rink wide. Thomas with the shot right on. First shot for the Islanders. Turgeon after it against Odeline. And it's cleared ahead to Benoit Brunet as the Canadians skate to center. King on Brunet, pulling him down. And the puck slides to Healy. Tom Kerber's behind the net. There's Derek King on left wing, flipping it to the line. Odeline with it there. Ahead to the Canadians' captain Carbonneau. His spinning pass broken up by Thomas. And now Kerber to King. Broken up at center. Islanders were changing, almost got caught. Carbonneau to the line for Denny Savard. Jeff Norton watching him. Brunet behind the net. He's checked by Turgeon. Now Steve Thomas hands it off to Norton. Norton played a strong game in his first appearance in the series on Saturday night. Uwe Krupp was the first star. He clears it in. And Leclerc back out there with Muller. Ray Ferraro making his first appearance. He was a somewhat questionable starter for this game after that high stick in Game 4. Muller at center ice. Sends it in, and Healy kicks it aside. John Leclerc reaching for it behind the net. Keane to Leclerc. Muller out front. Pass blocked by Norton. Muller again. Ferraro watching him. Takes him to the boards. This line for the Canadians, and Leclerc backhanded it wide, but this line dominating right now, John.
Every shift they've been on, they've had the pressure on the New York Islanders. Just good, hard forechecking, especially John Leclerc.
Pass on the right wing, misses flatly and slides into the Canadian zone. There's Stéphane Lebeau back. Left wing pass, Dom Foose. Pilon on Dom Foose, and down he goes. Darius Kasparaitis for the Islanders. To Turgeon, pushes it ahead, too far for Brian Mullen. Dom Foose to Desjardins. We played 4 minutes and 32 seconds of the first period. Dom Foose, watched by Kasparaitis. Mullen in to help out. He intercepts behind the net. Bellows for the Canadians. LeBeau. Back pass for Bellows. Tied up by Mullen. And now Kasparaitis. Takes a look, a lead pass, and here goes Marty McGuinness with Turgeon. Pierre Turgeon at the blue line. Keeps it in. Brian Mullen on the backhand. And he shot it wide. Vaske keeps it in at the left point. His shot right on. The rebound to Domfus. Lead pass LeBeau. Vaske back for the Islanders and makes the defensive play with Kerber. Good pace to this game. And the Islanders skating better now after the Canadiens' early goal. Fitzgerald's shot right on. J.J. Daigneault for the Canadiens. He's checked at the line by Fitzgerald. Lehman knocks Fitzgerald down. And Sean Hill clears it in for the Canadiens. Glenn Healy outlets on left wing to Volek. His pass comes across to Delgarno. Brad Delgarno against J.J. Daigneault, and he's knocked down. Odeline to Lehman. He's bodied by Volek. It comes out to center ice. And Norton clears it till Delgarno. Back in again. Daigneault has him wrapped up. Odeline around the boards. Norton at the left point. Beats Lehman. Tries to center it off DiPietro. And it comes outside the line. DiPietro ahead to Dion. Krupp right there for the Islanders. We've got 4.5 minutes without a whistle, and here comes Turgeon again. Turgeon snaps the shot off the mark. Thomas moves in, but it's out for Denny Savard. 3-on-2 Canadiens. Drops it off Schneider, and his pocket picked by Derek King. Good play there by King. Beyond bodies Pilon. Savard looking for it against Kasparaitis. Carbonneau and Healy with the stop. And we finally get a whistle. A great flurry here early in the first period, and Kirk Muller has the Canadiens on top. Ferraro wins the draw for the Islanders. Cleared around left wing. Benoit Hogue deflects it outside the line. Here's Flatley intercepting at center. He lost control of it, and the Canadiens clear it right back in. Kerbers to the Islander captain. Al Arbor said that the victory in Game 4 was typified by the hard work of Pat Flatley in his second effort to score the key goal of the game. Out at center, pass Flatley, and into the Canadian zone. Odeline around the boards. Brunet clears to center, and there is Big Uwe Krupp to Jeff Norton, to Flatley and Ferraro. Ferraro to the line, pass broken up by Schneider, and cleared back out. Flatley checks Brunet. Here's Schneider to Odeline. Schneider just got out of the way of a big check, and Denny Savard clears it in on Healy. Quickly ahead, Flatley to Ferraro. He takes a hit and dumps it into the Canadian zone as the Islanders make a change. Desjardins leads the Canadiens out. Left wing pass for Leclerc as the big line back out for Montreal. And Healy will hold on for a face-off. 12-12 left, first period. 1-0 Canadiens. Muller and Turgeon on the face-off. And Muller exchanges words with Ray Scapanello and is waved out. So Mike Keane will do the honors. And wins the face-off. Leclerc turns, but fanned on the shot. And Rich Pilon skates out. Right wing pass for Fitzgerald. He drives it in. Mullen after it in the corner. Behind the net, Turgeon against Desjardins. And the Canadiens come up with it and clear it down the ice. Darius Kasparaitis back to get it. Takes a hit, gets it ahead. Turgeon to McInnes. Here's Marty McInnes at center with Brian Mullen. And it's broken up by Desjardins. He missed Keane with the pass, and it'll slide down on Glenn Healy. 1-0 Canadiens. Kirk Muller's first goal of the series, his 8th of the playoffs. McInnes sends it in. Keane along the boards. Just out to center. Kerber's ahead to McInnes. At the line, overskated it. LeBeau will take over. He pleaded his case to Jacques Demers, wanted to play Game 4, and took trainer Gaetan Lefebvre into a meeting with Jacques Demers as well, but couldn't convince the coach. But he's back in for the 5th game tonight. That tender ankle still a problem for LeBeau, the hero of Game 2. Brad Delgarno left wing pass too far. Daigneault takes a look, and icing is the call.
Kirk Muller certainly back into things, gets his goal, as Chris mentioned, his first of this series. He's out there against Turgeon, the #1 offensive player for the Islanders. But Muller, in addition to the goal, has laid on some pretty good hits. He nailed Ferrero right after Ferrero tried to hit Schneider. We saw that replay. And here in the corner, he goes after young Kasparaitis. So he seems to have a bit more jump into his play, as John indeed do all of the Canadians tonight. It's easy to look back on a team that loses a game like they did in New York and say, well, the intensity wasn't there. That's kind of a fallback for analysts, but there certainly is more of that here tonight for the home team to begin with anyway.
And they always say, instigate, don't retaliate. Right now, it's the Canadians doing all the instigating, out-hitting the Islanders 9-2.
Lehman and Delgarno go to the boards. Fitzgerald worked it free, and it's Norton getting it out to center ice. Daniel ahead for DiPietro. He's checked, and here's Jeff Norton hitting the line. David Bullock on the move on the right side. Bullock takes a look. Dion watching him at the side of the net. Bullock going after it again against Dion and makes the check in deep. Here's the chance for Fitzgerald. Can't get the shot away. Hill clears it to Dion. Canadians out to center. DiPietro, the Sault Ste. Marie native, home of the Memorial Cup champions. And Healy clears it back to center. Matt Schneider to Odeline. And now Schneider left wing Dion. He dumps it in, and the Canadians make a change as Norton goes back. Derek King to Turgeon. Steve Thomas on right wing. Thomas, shot blocked by Schneider. King in after it, flipped it in front. It comes back to Pilon. In behind the net, Turgeon. Now Savard on right wing. Gets it by King out to center. Guy Carbonneau to Schneider to Brunet. Benoit Brunet watched by Kasparaitis. Bumping in the corner, Brunet stays with it. Kasparaitis knocks it free. Carbonneau in behind the goal. Rich Pilon for the Islanders ahead, looking for Turgeon. Odeline broke it up. Here's Schneider back in. Checked by King. Savard takes a look, fires, and that hit a leg, went wide. Backhanded out by Thomas and down the ice, and once again, the Islanders will be called for icing. 11 minutes and a second gone in the first period, and the Canadians continue to lead. And from the face-off, the Islanders skate to center. Ferraro, Hogue, and Flatley are out. Brisebois back for the Canadians. Lead pass for Muller over his stick. Curvers to Hogue. Watched by Bellows. And now Curvers. Ferraro by Donfus, and Ray Ferraro flips it to the line. Cleared in, and the Islanders were offside. They check up, and Desjardins back to get it for Montreal. Brisebois up the wing, broken up by Hogue. Koharski in the middle of that, and the Canadians get it out. Ray Ferraro was in a lot of pain in the two-line pass called. They have enjoyed a lot of success home and away. When they could not afford another loss. McInnes on Daniel as the Islanders try to create the turnover. Norton pinching in the corner. McInnes back to the point it goes. Brian Mullen winds up, and LeBeau with the block and into the crowd.
It must be playoff time if a player like Stéphane LeBeau is going down to block shots.
And we've got some penalties being called by Don Kowarski. Watch Stéphane LeBeau go out to the point, does a good job, waits till the last minute, and goes down to block that shot. And here's the penalties coming up. Fitzgerald and Sean Hill. And Hill knocks Fitzgerald down, and Hill gets a penalty.
Just the one penalty, so the first power play of the game goes to the Islanders.
Sean Hill, ex of the University of Wisconsin, in uniform tonight, and whenever that happens, and he doesn't play all that often, you say, well, the Canadians, Jacques Demers wants a little more toughness on the blue line. Well, the guy who is perhaps to supply some toughness gets the first penalty call of the night.
Well, we've talked a lot about the power play. or lack of it for both teams in this series. Let's see if it changes tonight. The Islanders 1 for 19 with the man advantage after being 6th best in the NHL during the regular season. Turgeon to Thomas. Norton's gone down deep. He's right in front of the goaltender, and Kerber's tipped the puck behind the goal. So they tried something different with a defenseman creating the screen. King along the boards. His pass behind Turgeon and down the ice. Minute 20 to go in the penalty as Turgeon clears it back in. Desjardins around the boards. Norton can't stop it at the point, and Kerber's with it. Norton headed to the bench, and Krupp coming out now, and they'll have to regroup in their zone. Islanders looking disorganized again. A giveaway. Benoit Brunet. Watched by King, and he'd love to get a faceoff down there. See if the Islanders can dig it loose. Finally, but a great job by Brunet. 45 seconds left in the man advantage. Well, Arbor said if they can't get immediate success, the power play just seems to fall apart for the Islanders. Here's Krupp shot blocked. He'll get another chance. Shot blocked by Carbonneau without a stick. Krupp again. Back to Thomas. Fakes the shot. Kerber's. Thomas. King's in front. Shot off Carbonneau. Over the glass on a play.
Boy, what a dandy confrontation that was. Thomas wound up the first time. Carbonneau did not go for the fake. He hung tough, covered his man, and ended up it went off his leg, and now the crowd chants, Gee, Gee, and he gets quite an ovation. Was he ever? He's had a dandy playoff year, Chris. You've seen all the games he's played, and he gets a bit of a salute, and well-deserved on that shift.
Mike Keane blocks the first shot, but then Carbonneau goes to work. And look at Steve Thomas. There's one shot. That's Uwe Krupp. But watch Steve Thomas. Here's Krupp off Keane, and then Guy Carbonneau goes to work without a stick. And he blocks the second shot.
Well, Dick, we've heard that great chant of Guy in this building before. Not that often for Guy Carbonneau, but well-deserved. Kasparaitis shot. Loose puck. Patrick Roy down, and the net was knocked off the moorings for a moment. Play was whistled down.
I can tell a bit of a story here. The day after Guy Lafleur retired, the Canadians left on a road trip to somewhere. I think it was Detroit, and when Guy Carbonneau came on the team bus, the players all went, Guy, 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 because Lafleur had been the only one to hear that chant, of course, up to that time.
Here's Patrick Roy again through a screen using his size, making the save. Puck still loose, but as Chris said, watch the net come off. Look at Patrick Roy. Good concentration, finds the puck, makes a save on the second opportunity, and right there, Ray Ferraro bumps into the net, comes off, and the whistle blows.
And just 10 seconds left in the Sean Hill minor. Shots even at 6 apiece, with the Canadians with a 1-goal lead with 6:01 to go here in the first period.
And that's the best chance for this Islander power play. A couple of good shots on Patrick Roy.
Here's Hogue with a shot. That's blocked by Muller. Kasparaitis. Rich Pilon looking to center as the penalties expired. Hogue in front. Ferraro. What a stop, Patrick Roy. Great chance as the penalty drew to a close. But Patrick Roy made the stop on Ray Ferraro, the leading goal scorer in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And the fans appreciate that. Jacques Demers talked about his only superstar. And he said his only superstar is Patrick Roy, and he's playing like a star in the playoffs. Watch this shot by Ferraro. Quick shot. Look at Patrick Roy's reaction. Through a maze of players, gets the right hand out. And with the blocker, steers it to the corner. Look at that stop by Patrick Roy from about 10 feet out right in the middle. Patrick Roy is moving up that list of wins in playoffs. Next man, Jacques Plante, another famous Canadian goaltender. St. Louis Blues, though, too. Some wins with the St. Louis Blues.
Interesting that Roy has now passed Andy Moog. They've had a lot of playoff battles over these last few seasons.
Here's Desjardins with under 5.5 minutes to go. Bellows snapped a shot right on Healy, and he hangs on. DiPietro bumped in there by Norton.
And the one good thing for the Islanders, their power play did have some pressure. And it won't be disheartening for them. At least they had some good scoring chances. Now watch Eric Desjardins. The Canadiens defense has jumped up into the play. The shot by Bellows, and Desjardins goes right to the net and cruises through on Glenn Healy.
Well, Rocky DiPietro, as he's called here in Montreal, quite an addition. 14 shots in the last 3 games. He has been the best Canadiens offensive threat.
Takes the face off, but the Islanders come up with it. Croup to Delgarno. Brad Delgarno flipping it in. Volek gives chase against Brisebois. And it deflects over the glass.
Volek didn't like that little hit by Patrice Brisebois as the puck went up and over the glass. And David Volek has really clawed his way back into the good graces of the Islanders management. Whether it carries over into next season or not remains to be seen.
Al Arbour had a good line after Game 4. He complimented Volek on how he has gotten better and better in the playoffs, and he said, I must have ruined another player in the regular season, in reference to him as we get some jostling before the pucks drop.
Islanders have lost a player here tonight. Claude Loiselle, injured early in a collision with Matthew Schneider, went to the dressing room, has not returned.
DiPietro cleared it right back to his goaltender. We're told that it's a rib injury for Loiselle. Islanders turn it over here, but Brisebois comes up with the puck and flips to center. Brian Bellows on the ice for the Canadiens, still plagued with a rib problem. Delgarno behind Turgeon. J.J. Daigneault hit Turgeon. Here's Pierre Turgeon in the zone. Group moved up, but DiPietro breaks it up and starts back for the Canadiens. Dom Foose to Brian Bellows. There's the shot right on. Comes back to Sean Hill. He flips it in behind the goal. Dom Foose is there. DiPietro out in front. The pass goes to Volek, and the Islanders break up. David Volek down the left wing with Turgeon against Hill. Now pass across, broken up by Dom Foose, and the Canadiens start back. Pass missed Gary Lehman. Curvers for the Islanders. And now the Islanders complete a chain. Curvers misses Mullen with the pass, and it slides into the Montreal zone with exactly 4 minutes to go in this first period. Still 1-0 Canadiens on Kirk Muller's goal at the 58-second mark. Healy out at center for Marty McInnes. Cross ice it goes through the skates of Mullen. Now he has it. Mullen to McInnes. In his 3rd game of this series, after missing 25 straight with a broken kneecap. Mullen to Fitzgerald. He deflects it in. Islanders making another change. And Gilbert Dion starts up the left wing for Montreal. Hammers it in. Thomas against Keane. Kasparaitis bumped by LeBeau, and here goes Turgeon with King and Thomas. Shot just went wide. Rich Pilon at the point. Here's Turgeon off the boards. He's checked. Pilon again with room. Shot blocked by Dion. Well, the Canadiens have blocked a lot of shots again in this first period. Keane to the line. Kirk Muller on the move. Kasparaitis has him lined up. King knocked Kasparaitis down. Chance for Keane. Scores!
Again, Dick, this line creating chances with the forecheck. Kirk Muller in. Now watch Mike Keane come in, back off. And then John LeClair goes to the net. And look at where LeClair is. Right in front of Glenn Healy. Glenn Healy goes down. He throws it up and into the top of the net.
LeClair, a big part of this, of course, as John mentioned, backing up. Healy in tough with the traffic, and Mike Keane, who doesn't score many goals, but when he does, they're usually done with dexterity. And he gets his second to make it 2-0 Canadiens. When that shift began, Arbour got Turgeon out against LeBeau. Canadians are in a bit of trouble. And Demers managed to get Muller out, and that's when it turned over down into the New York zone.
17-11, the time of the goal. Mike Keane's second from Muller and Leclerc. So the Canadians' version of the KLM line has scored both goals. And the Islanders are in a big hole now. Down 2-0 in the game. And 3-1 in the series. Flatly written out by Denny Savard. And Norton out at center ice. To Uwe Krupp. Brisebois for the Canadians to Desjardins. Benoit Brunet sends it in. Norton and Krupp on defense. Close friends, roommates. Great story about the call that Clark Gillies gave Krupp prior to Game 4 about the fact that comeback can be done. Krupp relayed the story to his teammates prior to the game and was a source of inspiration. Carbonneau has trouble with it. Ferraro steals, hit the goal post. Ray Ferraro rang that off the post after a turnover in the Canadian zone. Dennis Vaske hit Muller with it. Kirk Muller starts back again. Vaske has a grab on him. Brian Bellows curvers, takes him down. Here's a call. And play whistle down. Great hustle by the Canadians, and Brian Bellows draws the penalty against the Islanders.
Just goes wide. Another bad break for the Islanders.
Brisebois at the point. Shot. Healy down. Loose puck. Muller batting at it. Side of the net. Still loose. And now the Islanders, Benoit Hogue gets it to the line and out. Under a minute to go, first period. Canadians came close again. And they've had all kinds of chances when Kirk Muller's been on the ice in this first period. Dom Foose drops to Muller. Back to Schneider. Takes the shot. Hit Fitzgerald with it. And Benoit Hogue sends it down the ice. Tom Curvers in the penalty box, and the Canadians with a man advantage. Dom Foose. Krupp fell down on the play. Puck bounces over the stick of LeBeau. Krupp off the glass, kept in by Schneider. And now Brian Mullen sends it back down.
They're on a power play here to start this period. But Curvers in the box. He has 50 seconds to serve.
Mullen and Flatley, the penalty killers for the Islanders. Muller, Dom Foose, Bellows, Schneider, and Brisebois for the Canadians. Brisebois' pass behind Dom Foose, sliding down, and this will be icing against the Canadians.
And everybody has talked about the Islanders' power play and how it hasn't performed. Well, the Canadians' power play is in the same boat. One of the nicknames for Kasparaitis is Delirious. Instead of Darius, in some games he plays like that. That's why he got that nickname. But he's been pretty good through the playoffs, but not a dominant player like he was at the end of the Pittsburgh series. You could tell he was really getting under the skin of most of the Penguins. And they were off their game, chasing him around. He hasn't had that effect on the Canadians.
You know, he got excited in that second goal by the Canadians. He knocked one of his teammates down instead of one of the opponents, and it helped cause the confusion that led to the Canadians' goal. Desjardins ahead to Muller. Muller fakes the shot, going through, and Healy out to make the save. Kirk Muller again. Brisebois at the point. Brian Bellows, 10 seconds to go in the power play. Bellows takes a look. Now Brisebois. Desjardins moved in low. Shot bouncing through and over the net. And now Curvers back on the ice. Islanders in full strength. And a lead pass to Benoit Hogue. Hogue inside the line. On the backhand. Broken up and Desjardins off the boards ahead to Bellows. Brian Bellows lead pass. DiPietro in, but he's offside.
Now here we go. DiPietro with the shot after the whistle had gone. Thomas threw an elbow at him. And Van Helleman is in the middle of it quickly. However, they're still after DiPietro. Petro, Steve Thomas in particular.
I think Koharski is going to give DiPietro a penalty. That play into the net was so far after the whistle, and I heard it up here, and sometimes, sure, you can't hear it, but I think DiPietro heard that one. Here's the play. Now everybody stops. Glenn Healy, there's nothing that bothers a goaltender more to realize that the player has heard the whistle, and he still puts it in the net. Now look at Healy. He gives DiPietro a shot with a stick. And then Steve Thomas came in and hit DiPietro. And Don Koharski is not going to call any penalties. Watch Steve Thomas, good elbow right there. He didn't appreciate it. You're down 2-0. You don't need to be insulted.
A lot of the folks here at the Forum didn't hear the whistle, apparently, because the celebration was on for a time. But the faceoff comes back just outside the Canadiens' line. No penalty, no goal, and still 2-0. Here's Brunet on the backhand, kicked out by Healy. Thomas, checked by Savard. Krupp follows up, and the Islanders out to center, led by Uwe Krupp. Patrick Waugh around the boards. Turgeon is there. Brunet's lost his helmet. Derek King coming out front. His shot is blocked. Bellows flips it out for Savard. Denny Savard with Brunet at the line, and another offside is called.
You know, it's a tough job for players. For example, an offensive player like Denny Savard, 10 years, 1,000 points with the Chicago Blackhawks, to get to a point in his career when you can't do that sort of thing anymore. And you wouldn't have thought, John, not that many years ago, that you'd see Denny Savard playing on a line with Guy Carbonneau. That means you're on a defensive line. But I think while it's tough for them and some of them can't adjust, I think Denny, to the best of his ability, has been able to do that. He hasn't created any waves. He's done whatever Jacques Demers has asked him to do. He has been sat out on occasion, including in this series, but he keeps hanging in there, and he's accepted it, and he's worked the best he can. Some guys just get mad.
And he talks about this is his best chance to get a Stanley Cup ring, and he'll do anything at all to contribute.
Odeline flipping it in. Ferraro took a little whack at Odeline, so the two principals in the controversial incident of Game 4 are head-to-head right now. Bellows to LeBeau. Across ice, Dumfoo scores!
Here's the turnover, and look at the Islanders. 3 of them caught, creates the opening, and nice pass, LeBeau to Dumfoo, and look at this shot. Quick wrist shot, and look at Dumfoo. Get in position to get the pass. Stick on the ice, perfect pass, and he snaps it by Glenn Healy. Here's another look. Look at the pass by LeBeau. Perfect pass to Dumfoo, and Dumfoo doesn't give Healy time to get set.
Dumfoo with his 10th goal in the playoffs. LeBeau and Bellows get the assists and an early goal in this second period. 1:58. They scored in 58 seconds. Here's a loose puck. Ferraro. Patrick Waugh the save, and another on Flatley, and he'll cover up.
Well, it's not been an Islanders night. You look back to the save that Patrick Roy made off Ray Ferraro, the best save of the first period, one of his best of this series. Ferraro hit the post. That was in the first period. Now the steal in front of the net, and all of the action. Flatley with the backhand. He gets it up. It's in, John.
Now look at Patrick Waugh again. First save, finds the puck, gets to his feet, and comes across to make the second save. And Patrick Waugh is on top of his game again tonight. Talk about the superstar. My nephew, when he found out I was doing this series, that was my one mission. Ensure that I got him Patrick Waugh's autograph.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Just want to make sure you didn't forget.
Dumfoo's the 4th player now in double figures in goals in these playoffs. Islanders win the draw. Norton moving in, Keane down, bouncing puck, loose, and Patrick Waugh in.
Islanders bouncing right back after the Donfus goal. Now it's desperation time for New York. Down 3-1 in the series, 3-0 in the game. Follow the bouncing puck. Patrick Waugh does, and the whistle goes.
And you can see the Canadians in front of Patrick Waugh. Kirk Muller keeping Pierre Turgeon away from the front of the net. And that's the way it's been for Pierre Turgeon the last 2 games. Kirk Muller just hasn't given him room to breathe.
Muller and Turgeon the face-off. Canadians control. There's Odeline off the boards, and it goes high in the air down the ice. And Norton back to get it. Jeff Norton along the boards, lost control of it. There's Muller again. He keeps it in, and Norton now to Krupp. Islanders down by 3. Mentioned Donfus in double figures. Ray Ferraro leading with 13 goals. Dave Andreychuk has 12, Doug Gilmour 10, and now Donfus at 10 goals. Here's Pierre Turgeon for the Islanders. Volek catching up. So is Norton moving in. Shot! Patrick Waugh off the chest protector. In front, Turgeon. He stopped. Volek loose puck. Can't find it. Into the corner it goes. And John LeClair takes over. So give the Islanders credit. They've come back and created a number of chances here early in the second period. Carbonneau out now for Montreal. Turgeon backhands it in and heads to the bench. Fitzgerald along the boards. Brunet watching him. Here's Brian Mullen. Feeds it back to Curvers at the point. Curvers shot blocked by Carbonneau. Brian Mullen fires. It goes wide. Savard on the near side can't get it out. Vaski flips it back towards the net. Brunet is checked. Here's McInnes. Brisebois on him. Mullen hit by Brunet. Fitzgerald tries it free. Tom Fitzgerald looked to center it down. He goes, but keeps it in. Brisebois now pounds it off the glass. Kept in by McInnes. Here's Fitzgerald. And finally, the Canadians get it out of the zone.
Just saw another pick there. McInnes. We're seeing more picks than in the Knicks-Bulls series.
Lead pass to Mullen. Daniel takes a hit from Thomas. Sean Hill up on right wing to Gary Lehman. Lead pass for Gilbert Dion and DiPietro. Shot right on. And Glenn Healy will cover up. We'll be right back after this message.
John, you just pointed out off air his helmet's not done up. I don't know if he's going to play or not.
DiPietro against the boards, and now Turgeon gets it to center. Here's Benoit Hogue with Thomas and Kasparaitis moving up. Hogue in the middle. Thomas shot off a skate wide. Kasparaitis is deep. Bumped by Gilbert Dion. And the puck comes free for Gary Lehman at center. And DiPietro. He's checked, and Kasparaitis turns. Sends it deep, and Turgeon gives chase. Patrick Waugh to the goal. Turgeon almost stole it. Krupp at the line, rolling puck shot wide. And it will come all the way down the ice into the Islanders zone. Norton back to get it. Canadians changing it up as Norton sends away Derek King down left wing. Makes the shot now right on. Rebound. Thomas had his stick lifted. Throws a punch at Schneider. And that will draw 2 minutes. And Thomas goes over to further the discussion with Schneider.
And perhaps hoping to draw a retaliation. But Schneider rubs his schnoz right here as Thomas goes for 2 in a rather strange play. Schneider, number 27. And there, right there, he just caught it as we faded away. And the reason for the penalty call. Get a close-up look at it here. No, not there.
And watch Paul DiPietro right here. Gets the left skate out, but can't trip up his check. Thomas, the frustration of the Islanders trying to get to rebounds. There was a good chance driving to the net. And again, the Canadiens defense doing a good job in front of Patrick Waugh.
Better look at it here now. Thomas for roughing because bingo, he nails Schneider.
2 minutes for roughing.
That's one more punch than in the Bo Ferguson fight.
At least thrown by Ferguson. So the Canadiens already up by 3 have a chance to add to their lead on the power play. The Islanders clear it back down the ice. Ryan Bellows, Kirk Muller, Vincent Damphousse are out with Desjardins and Brisebois. Muller and Damphousse have scored tonight. Kasparaitis to Mullen. Islanders drill it in. They have 5 shorthanded goals in the playoffs to lead in that department, and they may have to think about one here to get a spark to get back in the game. Easier said than done. Canadians haven't given up a shorthanded goal yet in these playoffs. Hogue can't get it out. Brisebois to Damphousse. Muller was knocked down in front. Chance for Vaski to clear. He's hauled down. Here's a penalty against Bellows.
Kirk Muller took quite a pounding, and he was knocked heavily to the ice, as you mentioned, Chris. He was parked right in front of the crease, doing his thing. Meanwhile, in the corner of the rink, Bellows gets called, and so we'll have 4 skaters aside for 59 seconds. There's Muller, and he's dumped. Vaski tripping him up right there and getting away with it.
And you can see how heavily he fell down, and he gets up very slowly. And then Bellows put down Vaski, and Bellows gets a penalty.
Canadiens penalty number 23, Ryan Bellows. 2 minutes for hooking at 6 minutes, 45 seconds.
So 59 seconds left in the Thomas minor, and then the Islanders will have a power play for 61 seconds. Right now, 4-on-4. Hogan McInnes against DiPietro and Keane up front. Uwe Krupp on the ice for the Islanders. Krupp played his first NHL game here at the Forum. Almost lost it there to DiPietro. And now Vaski. Back to big Uwe Krupp. Right wing pass to Hogue. Benoit Hogue drops it off. Marty McInnes shot off the stick of Desjardins into the crowd. 28 seconds left to the Thomas minor, and then the Islanders will have a power play. 3 overtime games at the Forum. Norton back in his own zone. And Kerber's hit by Keane. David Bullock maintains possession for the Islanders. Steve Thomas getting set to return for the Islanders, and then they'll go on the power play. Thomas back on. Ferraro sends it in. He got buried by Keane. Kept in by Ferraro at the line. There's Thomas to help out against Muller. Along the boards, Ferraro. Muller watching him and is able to clear it. Boy, Kirk Muller's done it all so far tonight. Norton. He's hit. Odeline chopping at it. Thomas. And the Canadiens win that battle, and Carbonneau sends it down. Half-minute to go in the power play. Tom Kerbers ahead for Thomas, a 2-line offside.
Al Arbor talked about poor decisions on his power plays, and Tom Kerbers, that time Pierre Turgeon streaking down the other far side. Kerbers decided to throw it up the middle, and it was a 2-line pass. Ray Ferraro on his last shift. He has played with a lot of spirit, shoots it in, and look at Mike Keane. Goes right for Ferraro, and then Ferraro gives him a little chop with the stick. Tries to keep it in. A battle along the boards, and the Canadiens are winning all those battles here tonight.
18 seconds left in the man advantage as Norton leads the Islanders out. Left wing pass for King. He goes deep against Brisebois Desjardins. There's Steve Thomas. Comes back from Turgeon to Kerbers. Back to Turgeon. In deep to Thomas. Watched by Brisebois. Derek King behind the goal. He takes a look. Canadians back at full strength. King around the far side for Turgeon. Turgeon rolls it in front. Kicks to the corner, and Carbonneau lost control of it. Islanders trying to maintain the pressure. Thomas has his man tied up. King hit Carbonneau. Norton pinching in. Puck still loose. Brisebois dumped, and Desjardins skates out. Left wing to Benoit Brunet. Watched by Pilon. And now King will turn. Pilon and Brunet jostling behind the play. Off Norton's skate, DiPietro fires it back in. 10.5 minutes to go, second period. It's 3-0 Montreal. Goals by Muller, Keane, and Donfus. At center ice, here's Brian Mullen with McInnes. The speedy winger turns, looks for an open man, has Krupp. Shot! Another stop by Patrick Roy. Krupp moves in. Donfus to Daigneault. He's bumped by Fitzgerald. Kept in by McInnes. Shots are 16-14 Canadians. And an icing call against Montreal.
Now we just saw the impressive record the Canadians have right now. They're outscoring the opposition 30-15, counting tonight's game on home ice during these playoffs. You see all of the scores, and there's only one that you can consider really one-sided, and that's the April 28th win over Quebec 6-2. DiPietro with 3 goals. That was the deciding game in that series. So it's been close. 3 of them into overtime. The Islanders in tough right now. A half a game of regulation time to go. They've got to up their road record. They've got to put something on the board. They have been blank so far. Patrick Roy stopping all 14 New York shots.
Al Arbour with such great pride for this young team said, whatever I've asked of them, they've delivered. But it's quite a task in front of them now as we've hit the halfway point of the hockey game. And they're down by 3 on Forum ice. Flatly along the boards. Back to Vaski. He can't keep it in against the checking of Lehman. And the Islander captain Flatley goes back. And Flatley down the right side, hit by Savard. And Denny Savard at center, off the glass, and Curvers looks for it there. To Flatley. Tried to shoot it in, but Odeline was there. Lyle Odeline, who wasn't sure for a time today he'd be playing tonight. Gets it inside the line. Lehman to Savard. Penalty coming up against the Islanders. Vaski chops it to the corner, and here comes the call.
And it's a slashing penalty on Ray Ferraro. Ferraro and Odeline had exchanged words, and Ferraro is going off for slashing.
They don't like each other from the last movie, John.
That's right.
So the Canadians with 9:11 remaining, second period, get a power play chance. There's Odeline with the puck. Ferraro in behind, and looks like he slashed him across the back of the legs.
Well, that, of course, in response to the slash we saw in the opening, and Jim Gregory talking about the incident. Here's another look.
49 seconds.
And Pat Flatley takes a shot at Odeline there, and Ferraro was in behind. Here's the first chop with one hand on the stick. He got away with that one. It's the second one right there, Dick, as you described, on the back of the legs. And a third
take your pick.
Chop.
Ray's got a pretty good welt on the back of his neck and suffered a concussion, a slight one in Game 4 because of the Odeline slash, but he can't afford to have his team a man down at this point in Game 5.
Power play numbers, you see the Canadians, they are as sad as the New York Islanders. 1 for 22 in this series. Glenn Healy has some equipment problems. I'd like to say hello to a friend of mine, old goaltender Doug Alexander, who's quite ill in Frankfurt, Ontario. Thoughts are with him, and we wish him well. As he never had to worry about those problems when he played goal. The equipment wasn't that fancy. You just put a shoelace on it, and away you went.
Well, Al Arbour doing something tonight. He has done more than any man in the history of this game, standing behind the bench, coaching a hockey team. He's coached more games than anybody else in the history of the NHL.
Lots of speculation around Dick. Do you think he's going to Detroit?
Yeah, how about Miami? Because Bill Torrey is in Miami. And of course, Torrey and Arbor were so closely linked through so many years in New York. Don't know, John. Wait, trying to get down to a few good rumors?
That's right, that's right.
Canadians on the power play. Brisebois in for Dom Foose. Kasparaitis there, and it's chopped by Hogue down the ice. He's got such a kick out of coaching this team this year. Be surprising if he did leave Long Island. Bellows now, rink wide, Muller, Brisebois, shot right on, and Healy came out to make the stop, and the Islanders send it back down.
And that's Healy's best save and biggest save at a crucial time in this game. One more, and this one's over.
Dom Foose and Muller flatly there for the Islanders, and he one-hands it to center. Dom Foose back in. Through for Muller, and his pass cut off by Brian Mullen. Cleared in by Desjardins. Stopped by Healy for Uwe Krupp. Around the boards, it whistled past Dom Foose and out to center ice. 1 minute left in the power play, 8:10 in the second period. The Canadians with a 3-0 lead. Sean Hill out on this power play, and he dumps it in. Healy around the boards, Hill at the point. Gilbert Dion to Stefan Lebeau. Back out to Dion, tees it up, but not much on the shot. Rebound, Keane, stopped by Healy. And the Islanders get it to center.
That was an even better save, John, with the skate.
On a deflection, on a knuckleball, and Healy managed to make the save and get in position for the rebound.
Patrick Roy sends it to center, and now Sean Hill on the move. Dumps it off behind the net. Rich Pilon there. Keane bumps him, and Fitzgerald starts down the right side. 10 seconds left in the man advantage. Benoit Hogue turns, and his pass off LeBeau's skate. Out Dion in a race for it against Vasky. Vasky takes down Dion. Puck loose along the boards, and Ferraro will turn. Islanders back at full strength. Ferraro blows a tire at center, and the fans react to that. Oh, to Delgarno. He clears it in. And now Sean Hill. Carbonneau is lined up, so he let the puck slide by. Here's Delgarno into the zone. And Daniel takes over. Checked by Turgeon. Uwe Krupp in front. Delgarno stopped by Patrick Roy. Oh, the Canadiens netminder has been spectacular. Benoit Brunet to Savard. Carbonneau stopped by Healy. And a great sequence of goaltending exploits by Healy and Roy. 16 saves in the game for the Canadiens netminder. Here's Delgarno back in again on the backhand, flipping it in on Patrick Roy, who hangs on. 6:12 to go in this second period.
Notice Chris John smiling broadly up here with first Patrick at one end, Glenn at the other, coming up with the big stops. Another look at the save that Roy made. Big cheer for him on this one.
The Islanders are getting some good scoring chances, and at the other end, the Canadians trying to put this one away. Guy Carbonneau's chance, and watch Glenn Healy very aggressively comes out on Carbonneau, makes the save, and Carbonneau can't find the rebound.
That so-called defensive line really threw the puck around.
And Carbonneau thought he should have buried that one, shook his head, banged his stick, but a great save by Glenn Healy.
Ferraro back on the ice for the Islanders. Gilbert Dion chops it out to center. Vasky. And we now have 6 minutes to go, second period. Islanders trailing by 3. McInnes to Mullen. Ish one-timer into the corner. And the Canadians skate out with a DiPietro to the line. With Dion and Lehman. Sends it in towards Healy, who will cover.
Ray Ferraro, after that hit from Lyle Oline in Game 4, he was dazed. We talked to him after the game. He felt nauseous. and it was one of those just below the back of the helmet. So it caught him on the neck and the back of the head. You can see playing with the Hartford Whalers in the Adams division. He got to play against the Canadians more than anybody else on his team, and the Whalers, for some reason, used to give the Canadians problems.
You know why? Because they had players like Ray Ferraro, Kevin Denis, Ulf Samuelsson, Ron Francis.
And their goaltending always played better in the playoffs.
Look out, Odeline shot from the point, deflecting into the crowd.
But Dick, how do you account for the Canadians going 7 games with the Hartford Whalers?
I know.
And there's Bobby Neister. We saw him get the game winner in our Today in History. He now runs hockey clinics throughout New York for the Islanders. Media relations man.
He's an announcer tonight, not as an assistant coach. He does the commentary on Islanders radio games.
Here Turgeon on the ice with Delgarno and Fitzgerald in a real huddle behind the net, and a scrum along the side of the goal, and finally Delgarno pushes it to the point, kept in by Schneider, and they keep it in. Keane to Muller. Back pass for Leclerc, he couldn't reach it. And once again, this line dominating physically. Keane in front, Leclerc! Down goes Healy, and he makes the stop. But this line's been too much to handle for the Islanders tonight.
They won all the battles, John, this line. Front of the net, behind the net, along the boards.
And watch Leclerc, he's wide open. Again, you're talking about the battles. There's one along the boards. That's won by the Canadians. Out to Leclerc, he's wide open. And Glenn Healy, again, with another good save. Nick, I know it's awful early to be picking 3 stars. But when you're picking 3 stars, look at this hit by Mike Keane, and that's the way this line has played all night. They set the tone early. Keane on Kasparaitis. Talking about 3 stars, Dick, I know it's early, but how do you not pick each member of that line? And the way Patrick's playing, he has to be a star.
So there has to be 4 tonight.
There has to be 4 tonight.
Hey, it's not over yet, boys. But you're right.
The face-off, Canadians get it again. Bellows back to J.J. Daniel, walking in, shot scores!
J.J. Daniel has played very well and very physically throughout these playoffs. Gets his first goal since May of '89. And watch this shot. Now, does it hit Vinny Donfus? Donfus is right there. And Daniel had so much time to walk in, aim the shot, and beat Glenn Healy.
We saw in that replay somebody was doing a good job of playing interference in front of him to prevent an Islander from going out to cover the point. Look out.
Here's Bellows, scores!
Lets it go off the far post and in, and again the Islanders sagging noticeably. Giveaway right there, comes out to Bellows, and look at the time he's got. Vinny Donfusian forechecking, creating the turnover.
The goals come 9 seconds apart. First Daniel, then Bellows. And the Canadians are on their way, it would appear, to the Stanley Cup final.
And you can see Al Arbor, he's trying to calm his troops down. Here's the turnover, Donfus forechecking, and look at Bellows' shot. Off the post and in behind Glenn Healy.
It's been a big thing for the Canadians tonight as the fans continue to give them the standing O. The pressure that they have put on the New York defense. Crook was the victim that time. And there's a guy who outwardly is calm, inwardly must be approaching cloud 9. Or as Paul DiPietro said the night after he got 3 goals against Quebec, I'm on cloud 7.
Well, the first goal, they've announced Daniel from Bellows and Domfus. And here comes the announcement on the second goal. 5-0 Canadians. Bach clears it back in, kicked out by Healy, and King out to center ice. Domfus gets another assist. That's 3 points for him in the game. So Domfus, the lone assist on the 5th Canadiens goal. Here's King in. Patrick Waugh in, rebound. Turgeon rolled it wide. Islanders center it through the crease. Thomas scores. Well, the Islanders don't quit. Steve Thomas comes back, and they finally get on the board.
Wayne Conley, who I used to play with, used to come back to me and say, don't stop the first three if you're not going to get the fourth one. Here's Patrick Waugh. First stop, second stop, third stop, and the fourth one beats him. The Islanders do a good job going to the net. Steve Thomas is in behind everybody, and in it goes.
Islanders goal is ninth in the playoffs, scored by number 32, Steve Thomas.
Thomas with his ninth, 15:54, the time of the goal. Derek King gets an assist. And Pierre Turgeon as well. 5-1 now. Canadians with the lead in Game 5. Couple of goals 9 seconds apart, and 3 goals now in 52 seconds. Quite a spree here late in the second period as the fans serenade the New York Islanders in spite of that recent New York goal. And Schneider flipping it in, and a bouncing puck steered by Healy to Uwe Krupp. Off Healy, who took a look at his defenseman. Leclerc keeps it in the zone. Denny Savard. Muller one-timed it. Kicked out by Healy. And back the other way goes Fitzgerald with 3 minutes to go in the second period. Islanders make a full change. Sean Hill quickly ahead for Muller. That's broken up by Krupp. John Leclerc following up. Here's Big Leclerc cutting in. Tripped up Healy the stop. And Leclerc crashed into the net, and he's been shaken up.
Didn't get it past Glenn Healy.
Muller wins the draw. Hill shot off the ankle of Mike Keane. Daigneault in behind the net. There's Muller. Watched by Turgeon. And now Curvers for the Islanders will clear it to the near side. Vaski up to Hogue over his stick. Vaski will try it again. Well, Dick, you wanted more offense tonight, and the Canadians have delivered.
Well, the fellows who did the delivering, Chris, in the early stages were the two who did most of the delivering to get them where they are, Kirk Muller and Vincent Domfus. And now others are getting into the act. But there's no question they had to do it. I mean, you just can't go along the way they were going against a team like New York with 3 goals in 2 games and the 2 on the island, and keep that sort of thing up if you're going to carry on and really take hold and win the series in any particular game. Well, this is a game they had to do it, and they have done it so far.
Bellows with a goal and 2 assists. Domfus a goal and 2 assists in the second period alone. Kasparaitis with 2:15 to go in the second period. Ferraro to an open wing. Chopped by Odeline. Seems that every time Ferraro's on the ice tonight, Odeline is as well. Here's Ferraro back in. Carbonneau watching him. Checked by Schneider. Schneider off the glass, ahead to Bellows. His back pass and banned, and here's Flatley with a chance. Can't get the shot away. Here's Ferraro walking in, stopped by Patrick Waugh again. Oh, the Islanders have had their chances and more. Pilon, his shot blocked by Carbonneau. And out come Montreal, and Carbonneau flips it in deep. 27-20 are the shots on goal favoring Canadians. Patrick Waugh has made at least 5 big stops. Here's Thomas. Can't get untracked. Desjardins to the line with DiPietro and Domfus. Watched by Kasparaitis. Centered it off the skate of Derek King. DiPietro for the Canadians. And now Kasparaitis takes over for the Islanders. Desjardins ahead to Lehman, and he'll flip it back in on Healy. Under a minute to go, second period. It's been a big one for the Canadians. Elon to center. He fires it in. Thomas after it. Desjardins around the boards. There's Turgeon. Turgeon centers it off the stick of Brisebois, and outskates Gilbert Dion with Gary Lehman. Lehman will flip it in and give chase. Uwe Group blocking there. And Thomas out to Norton. Lead pass Turgeon with King. Here's Derek King in. Drop pass Turgeon. Can't get the shot away. Muller chopping at his stick. Steve Thomas in the corner. King shot, and that went wide. Daigneault in the corner. Islanders pressing. Group pinching in. And now Daigneault will skate out. 10 seconds to go. Keane to Leclerc. John Leclerc back to Keane. Keane's pass comes outside the line, and this will do it for period 2.
Well, at least a -2, and Pat Flatley has been held in check, and he instigated a lot of hits in Game 4, and it's been the other way around here in Game 5.
The big line for the Canadians tonight starts again. Muller, Keane with the big hit behind the net on Kasparaitis and John Leclerc. Turgeon, Delgarno, and Bullock for the Islanders. And New York works to center ice. Keane got tied up with Kasparaitis again as it's fired in. Turgeon dumps it in the corner. Delgarno bumping with Odeline, wins the puck, and now play whistled down. And we've got a penalty coming up.
Kurt Muller was the one who ended up on the ice in that exchange. It's an interference call. Question is, who gets it? The Islanders are arguing, so it looks like the New York team gets it, and David Volek, who was doing the arguing, does another little circle in front of the penalty box area and goes into the penalty box. Here it is here. He knocks Muller down. Puck in the corner of the rink as he skated by, gave him the shoulder, and Koharski gives him 2.
There was another one of those pick plays, except Volek skated right through the pick, and he gets the interference penalty.
Islanders penalty, number 25, David Boyd. 2 minutes for interference.
So the Canadians get their 4th power play opportunity of the game. Boy, 1 for 24 in this series. Glenn Healy was saying today, can you believe how far we've gotten with a power play that's under 10% on the year? And look at the Canadians doing so well without an efficient power play in this series. No doubt that'll be a focus of attention should they get to the final. Vaski touching it, icing the call right away against Montreal.
And again, the Canadians' power play challenged in the neutral zone, and they throw it in and threw it in before they got to the red line.
Ron Alcori, the Canadiens president, in his usual spot directly behind the team's bench. Not only the president of the team, the biggest fan of the team. Nothing wrong with that.
From the face-off, Mullen pulls it back. Vaski can't keep it in. And he'll try to work the clock a bit here. Krupp hit to Flatley. With a 4-goal deficit, though, John, the Islanders have to think about at least trying to get some offense shorthanded. Desjardins been hurt, and the play whistled down as Gaetan Lefebvre hops over the boards to attend to Desjardins.
And Jacques Demers is complaining. A 5-1 game. You're in complete control as the Canadians are. This is one thing you don't like to see as things are being talked over with Don Koharski. Now here's Desjardins, gets punched right there as Desjardins was trying to do a little interference of his own. Now watch, here's Pat Flatley being hooked up by Desjardins and the good solid right hand, and Desjardins was winded. Lennox Lewis would have liked that right hand.
We've seen a couple of those tonight. Thomas Go back. They would have been a better show than your fight you talked about, John, in Washington on Saturday.
And there's 3 times as many people here as were at that fight. Here's the hook. Desjardins holding up Pat Flatley, and then Flatley catches Desjardins and knocks the wind out of him.
Speaking of, there's 17,959 here tonight. You can't get any more in the building for a hockey game than that number.
And you can tell early, they were here early in their standing room spots, banging on the wooden boards that they stand behind, creating lots of noise. They were really into this one.
Minute 23 to go in the David Volek minor as Muller wins the faceoff. Bellows Domfus also up front. Sean Hill playing the power play with Matt Schneider. Hill to Schneider. Just got by Fitzgerald and now clears it in. Muller first man to it. Fitzgerald got his stick on it. Pilon, it comes out in front. Muller, Healy down on the line, and it stayed out. Muller again shoots. That hit Kasparaitis in the back, I think, and somehow the Islanders get away without allowing a 6th goal. Quickly back in come the Canadians. Domfus against Hogue. Domfus back to the point. Hill keeps it in, and now cleared by Vaski.
Don Kowarski was right on that play. He was the only one on the ice who saw the puck. The Islanders at the last second were able to clear it.
Matt Schneider, 28 seconds left in the power play. Hill gets to the red line and in. Healy out of the net for Krupp. LeBeau along the boards, back to Hill. Here's the shot, just off the target. Schneider, near side, knocked down in front. And Uwe Krupp is checked by Dion. Nice play by Gilbert Dion. LeBeau in the corner to follow up. Back to the point to Schneider. Penalty about to expire. Shot right on. Rebound. Leclerc fishing for it. And now the Islanders have Volek back on the ice. But pressure still by the Canadians. Dion to the point, and it comes out to center. Brisebois just stepped onto the ice and fires it back in. Canadians completing their change as Dion will head to the bench. And Brisebois back deep into his own zone. Darius Kasparaitis. Back to Pilon. Off Turgeon's stick into the zone. Desjardins. Off the boards for Savard. Look out, Kasparaitis took a run. And then Carbonneau was bumped by Pilon. Steve Thomas flips it out to center. Batted down by Brisebois. There's Derek King. Clears it behind the goal. Thomas after it against Desjardins. Carbonneau there for the Canadians. Off the boards and ahead to Benoit Brunet. In the middle to Savard. Denis Savard spinning and loses it to Thomas in turn. Carbonneau knocked it away from Thomas. And Healy will cover up. It's still a 4-goal lead early in the 3rd period. Play just underway. Canadians win the face-off. Here's a loose puck. Healy down, and Dion couldn't get it by him. And the Islanders work it out to center. McInnes off his skate to his stick. Here's Tom Curvers moving up. Dropped for McInnes in front. Hogue scores! Benoit Hogue, and it's 5-2.
Uwe Krupp talked about it when he was talking with Scott in the second intermission. Get the next one, then we'll try and get the next one. And here, less than 4 minutes into the period, look at Benoit Hogue get set for the shot. Has the feet ready as it comes across. He lets it go, and Tom Fitzgerald does a good job in front of Patrick. Well, what's Fitzgerald? He's going to screen with Daniel right there. And Hogue lets it go, and all of a sudden it's 5-2.
The Canadians scored the first 5, but the Islanders now have 2 back. And here they come again. Krupp in, and Patrick Roy made the save on Uwe Krupp. Krupp trying to keep it in, and Domfus lifted his stick, skates out to center, and Norton came across. Hogue the goal, his 6th of the playoffs from McInnes and Curvers at 3:46. Desjardins back in. Here's Jeff Norton. Up to McInnes. At center ice. Now he gets it to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald to Mullen. Mullen in the corner looking to center it off the side of the net. Mullen knocked down. Desjardins starts back up for Montreal. Right at at the red line, and he drives it in and heads to the bench as the Canadians make a change. Norton takes down Foose to the boards. Bellows looking for Muller in front. Puck lying there in the slot, and the Islanders clear it ahead to Turgeon. Here Turgeon against Matthew Schneider, looking for some help. Now drops it off to Rich Pilon. Pilon to Kasparaitis. Kasparaitis looking to center it. Kasparaitis knocked down by Leclerc. Penalty coming up. So a little bit of momentum for the Islanders as John Leclerc is headed to the penalty box.
After Uwe Krupp walked in all alone right after the Oak goal, a face-off right after the goal, Jacques Demers stood with his hands on his hips looking out on the ice as if to say, hey, you guys, what the heck's going on out there? Now, Leclerc's gone for 2, and just 5:09 into this period, the Islanders, off 2 straight goals, have a power play.
And Leclerc, the hit from behind, an obvious cross-check on Darius Kasparaitis, and the Islanders' power play has a chance to partially redeem itself.
Islanders 0 for 2 with the man advantage, win the draw. Turgeon off the skate of Carbonneau in front, cleared by Schneider. A little reminiscent of the Memorial Cup final in the Sioux, where the Greyhounds were up 4-0. Looked like they were home and cooled out after 40 minutes, but the Peterborough Petes, your Peterborough Petes, John Garrett, made it interesting in the third.
And lots of chances.
Here's Benoit Brunet with the steal. In behind the goal. Brunet's done a good job killing penalties in this game. Now Kervers gets it loose, and here comes David Volek and Brad Delgarno. Hit by Schneider. Turgeon follows up. Odeline there for the Canadians. He hit Volek with his clearing attempt. Back it comes to Kervers. To Volek with room. Shot right on. Volek after the rebound, but it's cleared by Brunet with 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the man advantage. New troops on for both the Canadians and the Islanders. Norton, left wing to Ferraro. Ray Ferraro can't get through, and Keane sends them back. Thomas out there now with Ferraro and Hogue. And here's Steve Thomas straight up the ice. Thomas gets to the line, but not over. And they'll have to turn back again. 35 seconds left in the John Leclerc minor. Norton's pass broken up. Here's Brunet and Carbonneau trying to get loose. Inside the line, Kervers there. Ferraro takes a look at the clock. Off the boards to Hogue. That pass failed to click. Ferraro goes down. And now Norton hits the line. Dying seconds to the power play. Norton in front, cleared away by Brisebois. Back to Hogue at the point. Thomas off the boards. Hogue. Penalty about to come to an end. Kervers in behind the goal. Desjardins there. Leclerc back on the ice. Loose in front. Down goes Ferraro. Canadians clear.
And the penalty killers lift their team and get this crowd back into the game.
12:39 left. A 3-goal Canadian lead.
And it looks now that penalty kill by the Canadians seems to have lifted their spirits again. The Islanders with some momentum, but their power play let them down again.
Uwe Krupp slowly. And a lead pass for McInnes off Bellows' stick. Krupp follows up. He's checked by Dom Foose. And Vaski turned back. 12-12 left. Dennis Vaski gets it to Fitzgerald. Tom Fitzgerald dragged down at center, and the Canadians just dump it back out again. Darius Kasparaitis, watched by Bellows, just got rid of it. DiPietro fires it back into the Islanders zone. And the two teams making more changes. McInnes hit at the line, cleared back in by Lehman. Glenn Healy up for McInnes. He's bodied by Dion. Schneider moves up, puts it behind the goal, and Rich Pilon has it there. Pilon's pass intercepted by Lehman. In front, Dion! Healy the stop there. Dion tied up by Pilon. Kasparaitis clears it to the far wing, and Benoit Hogue clears it into the Canadian zone. Patrick Roy around the boards. There's Gilbert Dion, and he flips out to center. Darius Kasparaitis. Turgeon knifes it in. Flatley into forecheck against two Canadians. Up along the boards, past Dion and out to center. Matt Flatley at the line with Turgeon. Islanders in deep forechecking. Volek springs it loose in front. Flatley! Wad down, made the stop. Flatley didn't get a lot on it, but he was alone in front. Now a race forward. Here's Keane giving chase, but Kervers gets back first. Kervers taken to the boards. Keane comes up with it. Down he goes. Here comes Volek back. Islanders still pressing with Ferraro. Ray Ferraro. Brisebois checked him. Ferraro behind the net. Volek. Vaski goes to the front of the net. And the Canadians up with the puck start back. You can see the Islander defenseman taking lots of chances now. 10:10 to go. Third period, 5-2 Montreal. Volek skating well in the slot. Delgarno can't get a shot away. Ferraro checked at the last second. And Carbonneau back for the Canadians. With Brunet breaking. Broken up by Krupp. Checked by Savard. Out in front, Brunet. Healy poke checked it away. Brunet hit by Norton. Tying it up. Puck kick free. Denny Savard. Checked by Healy. Savard still with it. Out in front. Loose puck. Healy down. Still loose, but Don Kowarski whistles play dead, and the fans don't like it.
You see, Jacques Demers, he doesn't want his team to open this game up and trade scoring chances, but that's the way it's been for the last 3 minutes. Here's where Don Kowarski can't see the puck. Denny Savard with a good wraparound try, stopped by Healy. Tries the other side. Watch Healy reach out with a glove, and that's when Kowarski blew the whistle. Puck still loose. Whistle is already gone.
Boy, for a team with a lead, the Canadians have opened the doors for the Islanders ever since the Oak goal. You saw Krupp right after that. There's Leclerc being taken down. That puck going into the New York zone. And Patrick Flatley had a chance all alone. And you have to wonder, John, how do these guys get in all alone in a situation when a team is trying to protect the lead? That time they didn't get a shot away, but Flatley had a marvelous chance, or what should have been. Didn't get a very good shot away, bouncing puck.
That time Ray Ferraro was unchecked, and it was just tipped away from him at the last second.
9:38 left. Turgeon against Muller in the Islanders zone. Kasparaitis. Islanders have Turgeon, Thomas. Hogue goes to the bench. King on now. Matthew Schneider with control for the Canadians, flipping it back in. Keane, first man after it, so Healy is out off the boards. And Muller had his stick lifted as it slides to center. Fired back in. That's Pilon ahead. King, nice pass to Turgeon. Thomas breaking on the right wing. Here, Turgeon inside the line, waits for help. Turgeon to Kasparaitis. Keane watching him. Thomas now in to help out. And he puts it over the glass and out of play. Under 9 minutes left now, and the Canadians hanging on to that lead.
For most of the night, they've had lots to cheer about.
8:50 to go. Third period, 5-2. Canadians with the lead. Benoit Hogue, the lone goal in this third period. Ryan Bellows rink wide to Dom Foose. They were game breakers in the second for Montreal, but Vaski now sends away Marty McInnes, the speedy winger for the Islanders. Cross ice, here's Fitzgerald, and his shot deflected by Dom Foose into the crowd.
We talked about the Islander injuries and their problems. Scott Lachance out. But Travis Green was their key face-off man down the stretch, and he hasn't played at all in this series. And one of the areas that the Islanders have had problems on is face-off. And I asked Al Harbour about it, and he said, yes, during the stretch run and during the playoffs, Travis Green was their main man. And they used him in offensive and defensive situations. And the eye injury stopped his playoff.
Suffered the eye injury on that high stick from Ron Francis. Game 5 of the other series. Here's Norton's shot after Roy got a piece of that. Now Norton pitching in, keeps it in the corner. Turgeon Centering pass intercepted by Brisebois, who gets it out. Exactly 8 minutes left, third period. Eric Desjardins to Gilbert Dion. Here's Dion, watched by Krupp. Krupp takes him to the boards. Kick free by Dion. Norton knocks it back into those skates. Still loose, and now it comes free to DiPietro. Norton takes him out. The Canadians would just as soon keep all the action down at this end. Killed another 30 seconds there. Now Turgeon cruising at center. Can't get the loose puck. Here's a pass for Turgeon as the Canadians quickly make a change. Turgeon dumps it in, and Odeline back to get it. Around the boards it goes, and past Kasparaitis out to center. Elon chased back by Carbonneau, now gets rid of it. Kasparaitis ahead to Ferraro, 7:07 left. Ferraro hit, gets it across, and here's Savard dancing back at center for the Canadians with Benoit Brunet. Brunet can't drop it for Savard, and it comes outside the line. Benoit Hogue now takes off. Here's Hogue for the Islanders, and he couldn't deliver the shot with Odeline checking on him. Out at center for Tom Curvers, and he'll clear it back in. Carbonneau backhands to the line and out. Curvers on Brunet, gets over the red line and sends it into the Islander zone. Canadians make a wholesale change with 6.5 minutes left. 5-2 Montreal. Trying for their first Stanley Cup final appearance since 1989. Haven't won the cup since '86. Hoping this is the year they can scratch a 7-year itch. Steve Thomas flips it to center, but Hill will drill it back in, and the fans starting to make more noise at the Forum, sensing this one's in control. Under 6 to go. He knocks it in. There's John LeClair looking to center it. Tied up by Curvers. LeClair still after it to Keane. LeBeau on now. Hill, the point, rebound, goes to LeBeau. Through the goal crease, puck still loose. Keane whacks at it, and Healy has it under the pad. Oh, John LeClair's been a mountain in front of that net tonight.
Oh, and Glenn Healy tried to chop down the mountain during that sequence. With a pretty good two-hander on LeClair right in front of the referee.
Now watch Glenn Healy and LeClair. They have it going. And this is after the chop you talked about, Dick, and it just trickles underneath everybody. And look at the pad. Healy makes a save. Wales Conference champions.
Now you go back to that cup win by Montreal. Jean Perron coached the Canadians that year. He's in the building tonight. He's a reporter for a Quebec City radio station right now. Does the color on the radio broadcast of the Nordiques games. And those are the teams that have advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals. And the winners were Montreal, the bottom of the list, and Pittsburgh the last 2 times.
Talking about that chopper, Glenn Healy. Billy Smith is the goaltending coach with the Island.
Now, you're not inferring, John.
He'd be proud of that one.
And Glenn said Billy has helped him with his play in and around the goal crease. Wasn't that specific, though. Fitzgerald to Norton. Jeff Norton as the Islanders move back in. Got a little spark early in the period from Benoit Hogue, but haven't been able to follow up with any further pressure. 5:04 left. Fitzgerald backhands it in. Desjardins off the glass over Big Uwe Krupp and down. The fans starting to sing again here at the Forum as Norton touches it and icing the call. 4:48 left.
Less than 5 minutes left. The crowd sensing it here. Some of them on their feet already.
Turgeon can't center it. Muller clearing it back down the ice. Rich Pilon hounded by LeClair. Hands it off to Kasparaitis ahead to Turgeon. And a lead pass for Brad Delgarno. To the line. Odeline takes over there for Montreal and wraps it around the boards. Out to center ice. 33-27 the shots on goal. The Canadians with a 3-goal lead. Bullock off the skate, back to Kasparaitis. Now Turgeon couldn't control the pass. Neither can Leclerc, and he and Kasparaitis battle for it right below us. Patrick Flatley back out, hands it off to Turgeon. Lead pass on right wing, Flatley skating into the zone, but Patrick Roy clears it back out. Leclerc off the boards. DiPietro gives chase against Vatsky. Vatsky fell down, left it for Ferraro. That got a rise out of the crowd. But Vatsky's up now, and a rink-wide feed to Hogue. Benoit Hogue, curvers on the move. Cross ice, Ferraro in! Ray Ferraro too far, and Patrick Roy made the save. Hogue with Roy still out of the goal. Behind the net, Ferraro. Islander pressure in front. Flatley can't reach it. Now he's got it. Checked by Daigneault. And it's onto the stick of DiPietro. Can't clear it against Hogue. DiPietro tries it again over Vatsky down the ice. Well, the Islanders had a chance to tighten it up here, icing the call.
Boy, John, their top playoff scorer, Ray Ferraro, has had more chances tonight here than any of his teammates. And he just can't seem to buy it. Either he stopped that big save by Roy. I still think that's the best save of the game in the first period off Ferraro. That time he didn't get a shot away when he was in.
And after you've been stymied so many times by the goaltender, you don't do the natural thing. Watch this. Roy, very patient. Ferraro doesn't shoot. He waits, and by the time he decides he's going to go around, he's behind the net. And I think Patrick Roy now has Ray Ferraro psyched out. Naturally, he should have shot there, perfect position, and there you see Ferraro shaking his head.
Ray Ferraro with just the one goal in the series, and that came with less than 2 minutes to go in game one, with that game all wrapped up by Montreal, a 4-1 final. 3 minutes left, third period, and a 3-goal lead as the Canadians try to confirm their reservation for the Stanley Cup final in 1993. Krupp took a high stick.
Denny Savard.
Play is continuing here. Krupp still in the corner, now picks up the stick. So no call. And the Islanders just send it down the ice. I think they want an icing here, get a whistle, and see if the linesman perhaps called anything, but not going to get a call on Krupp.
Al Arbor not happy with Don Koharski. And there's Krupp having taken the stick in the face. Savard was the closest Canadian player in behind. And as the clock shows 2:28 to go, it's been pouring rain and a dull day here in Montreal all day. Now there's Krupp behind the net. Whose stick hit him?
Now watch Glenn Healy's stick and Denny Savard's stick. If Savard's stick is higher, and I think it was his stick that caught him. Now watch, here's the sticks.
Oh, well, maybe.
And it's hard to tell still, but I think Savard's stick went through Healy and caught. Here's a better look at it. Yes, there's Savard's stick right there.
Yeah.
And you can see it catch Uwe Krupp on the cheek.
Ryan Mullen flips it in for the Islanders. John Leclerc along the boards and up to Kirk Muller. Kasparaitis off the glass. Fitzgerald can't reach it. McInnes looks for the loose puck, but Muller maintained possession. Fans already celebrating here at the Forum. Making a wholesale change as Odeline comes out. Less than a minute and a half to go. Bellows. Damphousse back to Bellows. That failed to click. Turgeon now. The curvers and back to Turgeon. He'll send it in. David Bullock along the boards. Behind the net, there's Turgeon looking to center it. Now Garneau at the point. Slides it through. Kicked out Patrick Roy. Boy, this Islander team hasn't quit. 1 minute left. passes it to Domfus. Curvers kept in by Muller. Boy, this is something at the Forum in Montreal. Oh, the Islanders were called the little engine that could when they upset Pittsburgh, but they've run out of steam here. And we'll let the Forum fans take it home because the Montreal Canadiens are headed to the Stanley Cup Final for the 35th time in their history.